Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. My guest today is Mark Smartt, head coach of the Trojan baseball team. Mark, thanks for joining me here today.
Glad to be here, Aaron. Thank you.
And we got you here, so that must mean we're going to be talking some baseball.
Opening day is right around the corner.
And the weather feels just right for it. We often joke about how the fact that, between each other, this cold weather, it means baseball season in Trojan territory.
Unfortunately, it does, and you get the fluctuation here. You get rain, you get wind, you get sun, you get dry, you get cold, you get hot. But typically, we start the year, and for some reason, it's just luck, but the high temperature forecast Friday 70. So we're going to catch a good day. But it's a fun time of year, and all of us are excited about starting the season this weekend.
And, of course, this weekend things get started up. And I know, usually in coach speak, it's the players are getting tired of beating up on themselves. And obviously that's probably the case with the baseball team now.
There's no question. We go through the whole fall. We come back in January when school starts, and we start slow. And now the preparation's in. We've done everything. They're tired of practice. They're tired of me. They're tired of our other coaches. And that's not a bad thing. It's normal. Every team has that. So all you try to do is you try to maintain as good a health as you can, the best you can do. You try to get as much repetition as you can before you start. But quite honestly, Aaron, we're at a point where we need to play somebody just to figure out what we're doing, good or bad. We're going to make some mistakes. We're going to do some good things. Whatever happens over the weekend, we'll step away on Monday and figure out, okay, here's what we did good, here's what we need to work on, and try to get better.
Now let's talk about last season to this season, comparisons to the team, losses, wins, people that are going to step up, you feel?
Well, we lost some really good players, obviously. And, every year there's loss and transition. But when you have success, like our team did last year, losing key guys will be hard to replace. Matt Sanders, 4-year starter. Joey Dennison, player of the year in the league. Brandon Lockridge, tremendous athlete, 5th-round draft pick. Andrew Crane, staple in the rotation. Darren Osby, really key guys. C.J. Carter was our reliever. He's in pro ball. So you just another one. So what has to happen? Obviously, as a coach, we always start with who's returning, the guys that have played here. And we've got a nice group of guys coming back. Drew Frederick was named the preseason all-conference. He was one of the best players in the league last year, a third baseman. He's a junior now. Rigsby Mosley was the freshman of the year in the league last year. Our left fielder, he had over 50 RBIs, had a great freshman year. Those two guys are the marquee guys coming back. You got Chase Smart, 4-year starter behind the plate. Manning Early, returning starter at second base, sophomore. Those are the 4 guys that got the bulk of the time last year. And then there's a host of other guys that played some. Sadler, Goodwin, Cole, Prestigard, Hunter, a bunch of names. So that's where I start. What can those guys do for us? And then ultimately you'll plug in some new names and see who can survive and help us. And some of them will be freshmen, and they're going to be exciting and fun to watch because they're really talented and they're going to do foolish things on occasion. And then some of them are JC kids that are a little bit older that you hope can transition. But all in all, it always starts for me with who's coming back and can kind of take on that leadership and that direction role that all those kids I mentioned earlier did such a good job of last year.
And got Central Michigan coming in and this weekend to open up the season, big series open up, and then good opportunity to test the waters there and see how this team
Certainly
is doing.
it is, and Aaron, for the last number of years, we play 4 games the first weekend. We do that intentionally. Saturday's a long day, doubleheader. It's a long day and all. But what it does, the 4 games forces us, or it doesn't force. It allows us to pitch more people, play more people, just to kind of get that first out of everybody. The first one's always the hardest, so we get to kind of knock the bubble wrap off everybody, and then on Monday we can assess where we're at. I don't know very much about this Central Michigan team. They've had a coaching change. This is a first-year coach. They do return a lot of players, but not sure what that means each year. So we'll kind of just feel each other out and see where it goes. But I know this, they're going to be excited to get here. They had a video out over the weekend.
Yes.
One of their players was on their baseball field with ice on their field, and he's in ice skates, fielding the ball, running the bases, and it was an awesome thing. And I was like, wow, but they haven't really been on their field because of the weather conditions. It's terrible. So they're going to get off the plane Thursday and drive to Troy and get off the bus and can't wait to get on that ball field.
And that 70-degree weather.
They're going to love it, and I think we're going to have to combat that general excitement because they're going to be eager to do that. Whereas for us, it's just another day that we get to go out and on the ball field. Yeah. We take that for granted. They sure don't. Yeah. So, but it'll be a good test for us. Obviously, we'll get to play a lot of folks. Hopefully learn some things about our team, what we do well, what we need to work on. And then as we get into week 2, that's when you get into more of your routine area. Here's the plan. Let's go to work.
Here's hoping success on the season yet once again. And Mark, as always, it's a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Aaron.
And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk.